What's up, Misfit Nation? Welcome to another episode of the Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I am your host, Matt the Misfit. Tonight, we're going to go over SmackDown for October the 7th, 2022, the go-home show for Extreme Rules, the season premiere of SmackDown. New things are happening on SmackDown. We had an NXT debut. We had a name change, a great name change. We had the confirmation reveal date for who the White Rabbit is. We had an instant classic, another instant classic between Gunther and Sheamus for the Intercontinental title. We have a new commentary team, all that stuff and more. We're going to go over it here tonight. If you like what you see here, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, comment down below. Also, bell notification, follow the social media at Misfit Wrestle TV, all that jazz. We got stuff lined up this weekend. Extreme Rules review. We got that lined up. We also got Monday Night Raw, the season premiere of Monday Night Raw. We have AEW Dynamite on Wednesday, their debut in Canada. Some things announced there, which I will maybe mention during this show. I don't know. Who knows? But let's get to it. Let's go. Before we get to the White Rabbit stuff, let's talk about the news that broke yesterday on WWE.com, first reported by Variety. The broadcasting team for Raw, SmackDown, and NXT is changing up. So here's what was announced by Variety, first reported by Variety, then later confirmed by WWE. Here's what the WWE.com article stated. Today's announcement. Today, WWE announced that Raw, SmackDown, NXT, and the premium live events will have an updated announce booth starting with this week's season premieres, which is SmackDown and Raw. The news was first reported Variety on Thursday afternoon. On SmackDown, the commentary table will be headed by Michael Cole, with Wade Barrett doing color commentary. Wade Barrett, who previously was doing color commentary for NXT, he joined NXT in 2021 last year, and now he's up there on the main roster. Good for him. Filling in, we'll get to that in a little bit. Samantha Irvin will continue to do the ring announcing. All interviews will be conducted by Caleb Braxton and Megan Morant. Megan Morant, I believe, is taking over Sarah Scriber. I believe that's how you pronounce her name. Forgive me. Monday Night Raw will be headed up by Corey Graves on color commentary. Joined by Kevin Patrick doing play-by-play. Mike Rome will continue to do ring announcing. Byron Saxton will transition from the commentary booth to backstage interviews. Also joining Saxton is the return of the lovely, talented Kathy Kelly. Everybody loves Kathy Kelly. I'm so happy she's back. She was great in her role in NXT when she was doing the interviews. The unofficial member of the Undisputed Era. Over on NXT, Vic Joseph will remain on NXT. He will be joined by 6-time WWE World Heavyweight Champion, or World Champion, not WWE World Champion. You know what I mean. Booker T, Hall of Famer Booker T. Alicia Taylor will still do her incredible ring announcing. She's a perfect fit for ring announcing. Mackenzie Mitchell will continue doing interviews in NXT. On premium live events, it will be Michael Cole and Corey Graves calling all the action from the booth. I love this. First I want to comment on this. I love that we're going back to the two-man booths. I did not really care. I mean, there's an exception to the three-man booth, three-person booth. The three-person booths that I actually enjoyed were for WCW. You had Tony Schiavone, Bobby the Braid Heenan, Dusty Rhodes, or if you slide in out Dusty Rhodes, you put in Mike Tenay. I love that pairing. NXT, you have Mauro Ranallo, Nigel McGuinness, which we'll get to in a second, and Percy Watson grew on me a little bit, but I did like what Beth Phoenix brought to the commentary booth. Back in the day for WWE, I didn't mind Vince McMahon, Jerry Lawler, and who was it? Was it Jim Ross? I didn't mind that, but I prefer two-man booths. Like I said, one of my favorite two-man commentary team of all time is JR and the King. I loved Cole and Taz. My new favorite commentary duo is Pat McAfee and Michael Cole. We'll get to Pat McAfee in a second. Two names are obviously absent from this announcement is Jimmy Smith and Nigel McGuinness. They were both released by the company. Nigel McGuinness, I don't know why he was released. I'm not that hasn't really come out. Fightful first reported that Jimmy Smith was released on Tuesday, and was later confirmed by Jimmy Smith himself. Jimmy Smith, for what it was, he was not bad as a play-by-play guy. He said in his podcast that he was a color guy. He didn't really do play-by-play in the UFC, but he seemed to get it, and he was not bad at his job. I mean, Jimmy Smith at some points, I gave up on Jimmy Smith after a couple months. Near the end of his run, I didn't really start caring for him. But first few months, he was fine. Like, you couldn't be worse than Adnan Burke. I mean, so there's that. So whatever he does next, he'll do great. Another name, like I said, Nigel McGuinness. We don't know what happened with him, why he was released. I'm surprised that Nigel McGuinness didn't get the call to join Michael Cole. Because I really loved what Michael Cole and Nigel McGuinness did during the UK tournament in 2017, the tournament that Tyler Bate won. I really loved that because that was the first time I got to hear Michael Cole sound like a fucking human being. And not like, for the love of all mankind, or some stupid ass shit like that. He sounded like a natural fucking professional wrestling commentator. So I'm gonna miss Nigel McGuinness. What's going on with Pat McAfee? Well, they do state here, Pat McAfee will return to the announce booth following his commitments on ESPN's College Game Day, which is, I believe, ends around I think in January. I think. I also found out by Wrestling Observer, Wrestling Observer. I can't talk tonight. He will be coming back to SmackDown, but it's unknown whether or not he will be just joining Cole and Barrett, or will just be taking Barrett's place back on the commentary booth, and Barrett will go back to NXT. Based on what Wade Barrett said on Twitter yesterday, he said for now he's going to be the voice of color commentator for SmackDown. So it seems like to me when Pat McAfee comes back, Barrett's going to go back to NXT, and Booker T is just there to fill in for Wade while Wade is filling in for Pat McAfee. I hope that's the case because I really do like Pat McAfee. Pat McAfee has brought out the best in Michael Cole, and Michael Cole has been probably my favorite commentator currently. This is weird to say because feels like a commentator now. Like, he doesn't have a 75-year-old man, or 70-something-year-old man screaming in his ear to say some stupid ass shit. So there is that. We had a couple of debuts here tonight. Well, debuts and we had a debut, a return, a teasing return, and a confirmation of a return tonight. First one, obviously, is Legado del Fantasma. We'll talk about that right now because I'm gonna go into these segments one by one. So during a Hit Row match, Hit Row was getting ready to compete. They were getting ready to compete. Hit Row comes out, who gets somebody. Then three masked men come attack Hit Row, beat up. They beat up Ashante the Adonis and Top Dollar. And people were wondering, like, well, who is this? Who is this? B-Fab gets in the ring, and on the turnbuckle is one Zelina Vega. Zelina Vega comes off and just Hurricanrana's B-Fab. And come to find out, Legado del Fantasma, Santos Escobar, Joaquin Wild, Cruz del Toro, formerly known as Raul Mendoza. I'm iffy on this, like, this whole. Well, I'll get to that in a second. This was first reported by PW Insider about Zelina Vega being in town with SmackDown tonight, and there was talks of PW Insider confirmed that she was in town. Fightful then had a report that there was pitches in place for Zelina Vega to join Legado del Fantasma. And you're probably wondering, where's Elektra Lopez? Well, here's the thing. Zelina Vega is now the new valet manager of Legado del Fantasma. I'll give it a couple weeks to see if I like it. So far, it's not bad. Does Zelina fit the group? Sure. Do they need her? Not really. Legado is great. Santos Escobar doesn't really need a mouthpiece. He can speak English perfectly fine. He can cut a promo. He can wrestle his ass off. He can cut a promo. And the other two guys, they're okay with promos, but they are really good at tag teams. So this is a great addition to the tag team division. And Santos Escobar is going to be a great mid-card act for the time being. Once that title comes off of Walter or Gunther, whoever takes the title off of him, put that title on Santos Escobar, and then you can ride the momentum with Escobar as the Intercontinental Champion. Zelina Vega, she's great. I'm actually very happy Zelina Vega's back. I like Zelina Vega. So Andrade's probably crying in the corner now because he can't get out of his contract and whatnot. That's a whole different can of worms there. Another thing that happened tonight was the tease of Sarah Logan returning to the company. It's more like confirmed at this point. Fightful Select put out the report after it aired on television that during the Viking Raiders Valhalla promo, there was a woman talking that sounded a lot like Sarah Logan. Come to find out, it is for Sarah Logan. Sarah Logan will be coming back to the WWE. She is going to be part of the Viking Raiders. Sure, why not? I like that idea. No, I think given that she'd been doing the Viking looking gimmick for months, well, ever since she was in the ever since she got called up in the main roster, she was a Viking. Like, she wasn't a Viking in NXT. I don't know what she was. I think she was just a country girl. I believe that's what it was. And then she came to the main roster. She was a country girl for like 2-3 weeks, and then they turned her into a Viking. It was very weird. So now they're just putting her with Viking Raiders. So that's great. I like that. So like I said, we have a call up, a return, a tease of a return, and a confirmation of probably one of the biggest returns in WWE one of the biggest returns that they're probably ever going to do this year. The return of the one and only The Fiend, whatever you want to call him, Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. We had the final QR code. Maybe there may be a QR code during the Extreme Rules pre-show tomorrow. I'm assuming the final QR code for the White Rabbit. People got it. You go to it, www.com/. I don't even have to look for the QR code. I'm going to tell you what the URL is. It's www.com/10822, which is October 8th, 2022. That's what that stands for. and go to it. It has this video of this woods and flashes of the three little pigs and a big bad wolf with in the background. There's a voice that says, let me in," over and over again. And somebody caught this. I don't know who it is, but shout out to this person. There's a glimpse of Huskus the pig in this video. Huskus the pig obviously is a character introduced into the Firefly Funhouse. I believe it was a week or two after the reveal of the Fiend character. I could be wrong. Or no, I think what it was this character was revealed after reports of Bray Wyatt being overweight and whatnot came out, and then Bray Wyatt started making fun of those rumors. So why not? Sorry. I know. I actually remember it was not that. It was actually because he was getting the arena bizarrely tweeted out the main event for that year's Hell in a Cell in 2019, and then they just went along with it, and they had the puppet Vince come in and say, you're too, what whatnot." Basically, the whole Huskus the pig thing. Anyways, you know the story of that. Anyways, then later on, after this Legado del Fantasma segment, we had the freaking White Rabbit commercial pop up, and like, this is the first. So it's a White Rabbit, like I said, in that woods, the gray looking woods that we saw in the QR code video. He's hopping along. He sees X marks the spot, which is not for Judgment Day or Finn Balor, because I'm telling you, the whole Finn Balor thing has nothing to do with Bray Wyatt. Judgment Day has nothing to do with Bray Wyatt. Edge has nothing to do with Bray Wyatt. What's happening with that is, once Finn Balor's done with Edge, he's moving on to AJ Styles. Why would, anyways, or was I on that? So X marks the spot. Purple X, which actually stood for the X in Extreme Rules, dug a hole in there, jumped through what looks to be Devil's Hole, which is something Bray Wyatt alluded to in the past. South Arkansas, Devil's Hole, all that stuff. You hear what sounds like, a lot of people thought it was just a woman screaming. To me, it sounds like a pig, like getting butchered and screaming for its life. That's what it sounded like to me, which made sense given the one we saw last week on SmackDown, which was the images of the butchered, pigs and shit like that. That makes sense. And then we get a flash up of it saying tomorrow night, 10/8/2022. And in different languages, it says "feed your head." Interesting note about the tomorrow night thing. The G looks like a 6. And a lot of people are saying it. Maybe it's the white 6, or it's meant to look like a 6. I think it's meant to look like a 6, but I'm not 100% sure. White 6. Anyways, basically, this is the confirmation that this is the return of Bray Wyatt. Tomorrow night, we are going to get the reveal of the White Rabbit, which is going to be end up being the return of Wyndham Rotunda, Bray Wyatt. What he's going to look like, I don't know. That's the most intriguing part about that is we don't know what he's going to look like. I'm excited for it. I'm excited for Extreme Rules tomorrow night. We'll get it. We'll talk about that as the night goes on. But we're not done here on the White Rabbit stuff. We ain't even done here, because throughout the night, after that vignette, throughout the rest of the night, we seen a White Rabbit walk through the crowd, like really creepily. Just at one point, it was during a women's tag match. I believe it was during. Yes, it was during. Yes, it was during a women's tag match, which was Raquel and Shotzi versus Sonya Deville and Riley. And during that, we seen the White Rabbit like come into frame, stand there for a little bit like a fucking weirdo, and just walk off. And Thankfully, we had cam footage because come to find out, it was a WWE planted White Rabbit. He's coming from the back and just walking through the audience. He goes to another area because later on in the show, we find out he's sitting right behind Michael Cole and Wade Barrett. Fucking creepiest thing I've ever seen. And then I tweeted out, either I tweeted this out or I questioned somebody. How does no one see a giant ass fucking bunny sitting right behind them? And then we see another cam footage of the bunny just leaving through the back. It's Bray Wyatt, and I'm excited for that. That's gonna be good. But let's talk about the other show. This show felt like a takeover. I loved this show. This show was probably my favorite SmackDown under the Triple H era. And it's probably the best SmackDown on Fox in a very long time. Imagine that, Triple H running the show on SmackDown and the SmackDown show like an NXT show. And what happens? You get a great fucking show of it. Shocker, right? So SmackDown opened with Triple H, obviously, on the QR code thing, which is he welcomes people to SmackDown, or Friday Night SmackDown. He says there will come a time when you believe everything is finished, but that is when that is just the beginning or whatever, something along the lines, and basically said, welcome to welcome to Friday Night SmackDown. And then out comes Roman Reigns and the Bloodline and Honorary Uso. I fucking love Jimmy Uso. Not Jimmy Uso. I fucking love Sami Zayn. I'm so glad. I would not be opposed to them changing course and them kicking out Jay and Sammy just being a member of the Bloodline. They seem to having fun with that. So, like I said, Roman Reigns comes out. He tells them to acknowledge him. And before he can get his anything else out, that little geek Logan Paul comes out to boos that tried to be drowned out by cheers because fuck him done. He comes out, fans loudly chant Logan sucks. Roman says that the Bloodline can teach him a lot before handing the mic to Heyman. Heyman says, as special counsel to the tribal chief, he serves as a wise man and drops pearls of wisdom, which he does. I could listen to Paul Heyman talk all day. Heyman says Reigns asked him the other day, "Who the hell is Paul?" He thought he was. Who the hell he thought Paul was, or something like that. Then says that he's this generation's Mr. T and Cindy Lauper. I'm assuming he's talking about Roman Reigns. I am not 100% sure about that. I believe that's what he's talking about. He says that outside, he's just the celeb. He says that he is the outside celebrity they bring into who they bring in more eyeballs to the product. And ultimately, they lose eyeballs when they see a Roman Reigns and they acknowledge him. Then he names drops a bunch of celebrities. Bloodline fought to bring in more, to bring it in to get more views, basically is what he said. But says none of them have the balls to fight Roman Reigns. Then he says that he will end up in the hospital for 3 months, talking about, he points to Logan Paul, or he's talking to Logan Paul, after facing Roman. A crown jewel tells him that he will have a lot of content that he can create. He said Logan Paul won't be offering a prediction, but a spoiler. Logan Paul says he can't argue with Heyman. He has one question for him. He says that he'll be smashed by the tribal chief, but does that mean Roman or Jey Uso? Which is, tension there. Then Roman starts staring at Jey. Sammy being what's the word I'm looking for? Trying to be the guy to have cooler heads prevail. Steps in and tells him to take a deep breath. Roman, you are the tribal chief. You are the head of the table. Jay did nothing wrong. It's this piece of shit here. Well, he didn't say that, but that's basically what he means. He calls he calls Logan a 2. I'm assuming it means he is literally shit. He says like he'll stain a Roman's. He'll be a stain on Roman's show. That when all said is done, the bloodline will be ever stronger. And we are the ones and whatnot. So then Ricochet comes out for his match with Solo Sikoa. This is a fine match. Nothing too fancy. The Ricochet match. Solo Sikoa wins with the spinning solo after Ricochet ascends to the top for a moonsault that he obviously gets caught into a spinning solo. Solo gets the victory. On the outside, well, this is actually a little bit later on, so we'll talk about that. This actually happened a little bit later. Then we head to the back. The bloodline are watching on. Zayn says that he feels like he's taken Solo under his wing, but Jay gets upset and says he's been the one that's been his brother since the beginning. It's true. I mean, they're fucking related. He tells Zayn not to call him a hothead one more time, then stops himself. Reigns said he doesn't want to be the problem anymore. Therefore, saying now it's Zayn's issue. And he also Reigns to basically agree with Sammy that you are a hothead. Talking about Jay. Then we get back from break. We got the whole Hit Row thing. I talked about the Hit Row stuff. It looks like they're going to be feuding with Hit Row again. Oh boy, I can't wait for that. I'm going to be honest with you. Not looking forward to that feud. We've already seen that. Can't wait for that. There's sarcasm in my voice there. Back from break, Sammy's trying to apologize to the Usos. They ran into the New Day before making fun of the Usos for having Zayn as their boss. Zayn tells them to find a partner and meet them in the ring. Jay walks off in frustration. He's mad. After the whole Legado Fantasma thing, we had to follow up with the White Rabbit stuff revealing about tomorrow. Being the debut return of the White Rabbit, Bray Wyatt. Next up, we have the women's match, a women's tag match. Shotzi and Raquel Rodriguez takes on our defeat, Sonya Deville and Xia Li. This match was over. And now it's the Texina bomb. I've assuming they changed the name of the bomb, the move again. Whatever. He hits who did she hit it on? She probably hit it on Sonya Deville. The woman that I like in this match, everyone but Raquel. There you go. I'm glad Shotzi's back as a babyface. She works better as a babyface. I didn't like her as a heel. She never should have turned heel. First place. That was a stupid ass decision by Vince McMahon again. Vince doing some stupid ass fucking shit. Anyways, then we get to see we see Gunther and Sheamus getting ready for their match tonight. Later on tonight. Then we go to a video package hyping up Liv Morgan and Ronda Rousey for tomorrow. Then we had Karrion Kross segment coming out. Karrion Kross has his Scarlett by his side doing their entrance. And had a really cool shot. So getting ready to do, I guess, a segment. He was going to do a segment because I don't think he was going to do a match. But he had a segment, and he had this amazing. Okay, I know I shat on Kevin Dunn earlier, but this sometimes he has his high spots. This is one of those high spots. And he did some high spots with the Fiend too, which was great. So Cross is doing his little roaring during his entrance, and out from behind him just pops right up out of his head is Drew McIntyre. And I seen this, I'm like, that is an incredible shot. That shot reminded me of when Roman teamed with the Undertaker to take on Shane, and Drew McIntyre Extreme funny enough, at Extreme Rules in 2019, and Undertaker is getting ready to do the Tombstone. I believe it was the Tombstone or the Chokeslam, something to somebody. And Drew comes out and gets ready to hit the fucking Claymore, which would have been a fantastic ending to the match, by the way. But that's also was Undertaker's last match in front of a crowd. Anyway, well, not actually. That's not true, technically. Okay, his last full match in front of a crowd that he actually that he was actually advertised for. Anyways, so these two beat the shit out of each other with straps. Cross stood tall at the end of it. Go home math would suggest he's gonna lose. This is also the Triple H era. Karrion Kross should win regardless of what happened there. I'm excited for their strap match tomorrow. That should be good. Next up, we got the Viking Raiders promo with Valhalla Awaits, which obviously teasing the return of Sarah Logan. Next up, we got the tag match, 6-man tag match with the Usos and Sami Zayn, or the Bloodline versus the New Day and Braun Strowman. New Day and Braun Strowman get the win because Jey Uso's ego gets the best of him. He's just too busy arguing with Sami Zayn on the outside while Jimmy's getting his ass whooped. And I believe they just get the win. I don't want to see the New Day versus the Usos again. Please, Triple H, do not make anybody sit through that match again. Listen, I don't care how great their matches are. You have more teams on that SmackDown roster now, and I will go through the SmackDown roster in a little bit because I don't want to see that I don't want to see it. You have all these SmackDown rosters. You have this now deep SmackDown division. I mean, look at this. On SmackDown now, you have Imperium, you have Hit Row, you have Maximum Male Models, the New Day. I don't want to see that. You have the Viking Raiders. You have the Brawling Brutes. Now you have the Legado del Fantasma. And on Monday Night Raw, you have Judgment Day. You have Alpha Academy. You have the Street Profits that no one wants to see that match again. You have, I'm assuming there's still a team, Miz and Tommaso Ciampa. And if they want to start teaming as a regular tag team, you can do Kevin Owens and Johnny Gargano as the Panda Express. You can do all that stuff. Anyway, that's neither here or there. So Roman's not going to be happy about that. We didn't see the Roman Reigns and anybody else for the rest of the night anyway. That was about it. Next up, we had a backstage incident. The former Max Dupri is attacking Mansoor and Marseille with a chair. He tells Maxine not to call him Max anymore. He says he's done with him. He says he's LA Knight. Walks off. Yeah. So LA Knight is back. I'm so excited that LA Knight is back. That's what he should have been doing from the start, not this fucking male model shit that Vince McMahon had him doing. Whoever thought of that idea, Vince McMahon should be fired immediately. He was already fired. Thank God. Oh God. Okay. Next up, we have the main event of SmackDown. Gunther defeated Sheamus to retain the Intercontinental Championship in another instant classic match. Brawling Brutes and Imperium both originally accompanied them to the ring, but they went back to the back. The match, I can't really, again, it's really hard for me to go word for word what happened here. Near the end of it, the Imperium and the Brawling Brutes were outside beating each other up. Sheamus is getting ready to hit the bro kick. Gets knocked out with a freaking clothesline with the referee being distracted. Gunther hits the referee hits Sheamus with, I believe he hit him with the title. No, he hit him with the shillelagh to give Gunther the win and retain the championship. That's how SmackDown ended with an incredible match with a weird finish. There was a wonky spot in the match where Sheamus had Gunther in the Texas Cloverleaf, and Gunther tapped out twice, like tapped 2 times. The referee waved it off. I'm not sure if he was supposed to tap. It seemed like it was an accidental tap because they didn't ring the bell. So I don't know what happened there. But I'm assuming the Roaring Roots are now going to win because, like I said on the review, it all depends on what's going to happen on this match. That dictates the 6-man tag match tomorrow night. So who knows? It's gonna be great. So I'm excited for all of that. So that was SmackDown. SmackDown went off the air. That was a great show. Probably the best one of the Triple H era, I want to say. Under the Triple H regime. We're gonna go over the Rampage review results because they were on tonight, and I'm just gonna go over the results here for that show. So Claudio Castagnoli, AEW champion Jon Moxley, and Wheeler Yuta defeated Private Party and Roosh. Obviously, some news on Jon Moxley here. While we're going to do it, let's just talk about some news on Jon Moxley while we're here. Moxley signs a 5-year extension, spending his roles to mentorship and coaching. So that's gonna happen. So he's there for the long haul. He's not going back to WWE, guys. You should just close the buck there. Josh Woods and Tony Nese defeat Varsity Blondes. From my solid, it was a somewhat of a squash, I guess. Mark Sterling is now, I think this is probably funny. Mark Sterling has trademarked the name Varsity, so the Varsity Blondes can't use it anymore, which is hilarious. The Acclaim comes out. Looks like they're going to do the Acclaimed versus Tony Nese and Josh Woods. Somewhere down the line, whenever they get to that, sure. Madison Rain and Sky Blue lost, I believe, to yes, they lost to AJ Anna J and Tay Mello. Dark Order lost to Death Triangle. Death Triangle retained the tag team titles. We also found out that more matches were added to next week's show. We have a women's tag team match added to Dynamite next week. It's going to be Toni Storm and Hikaru Shida versus Shayna Baszler, Britt Baker, and Jamie Hayter. And we also have Lionheart, Chris Jericho, Brian Nails. I'm sorry. For the Ring of Honor title, we have Pac versus Orange Cassidy for the All Atlantic Championship. Billy Gunn versus Swerve Strickland. I believe there's another match that was announced, but I wasn't actually sure on that. Anyways, then here are the results for Battle of the Belts 4. Trent Pac defeated Trent Beretta to retain the championship. Jade Cargill defeated Willow Nightingale to retain her title. It should be Jamie Hayter at this point. Done talking about that. FTR and the FTR and Gates of Agony match went to a no contest. As everything went brawl, if that went off the air, whatever. That was the results for those shows. Impact is apparently getting people pissed off because they have decided to put Bully Ray in the fucking world title picture because of course they are, and they're probably going to have him win the championship, and this is why I don't fucking want to support that company that much anymore. Though I did watch the tag team title match between the the between Matt Taven and who was it? Who was that other? Matt Taven. Who was it? Matt Taven and it was the Kingdom and Motor City Machine Guns. I actually did like that match from when I saw of it. Matches for tonight. Matches of the night. Obviously, first one goes to Gunther and Sheamus, um, followed by the Kingdom versus Motor City Machine Guns, Death Triangle and Dark Order, Pac and Trent Beretta. So um those were the matches of the week, or the Friday matches for Friday. Tomorrow we got AEW, not AEW. Tomorrow we have Extreme Rules. Let's go over that. Let's go over the card real quick. We're not going to go over the predictions because I've already told you the predictions for that event. I'm not gonna go over the like the predicting, but the match card as I followed is still 6 matches. We got more Liv and Ronda for the SmackDown Women's title. We have Matt Riddle, Seth Rollins in the Fight Pit. McIntyre and Cross strap match, ladder match for the Raw Women's title. Belair and Bayley. We have Edge and Finn Balor and I Quit. The Donnie Brook match, Brawling Brutes and Imperium. That's tomorrow night. I will see you back here tomorrow for Friday, or not Friday Night SmackDown. We just did Friday Night SmackDown. We'll see you tomorrow for the Extreme Rules review. My voice may be dead after working out what's going to happen with Bray Wyatt. He will be there in some way, shape, or form. If I'm WWE, I would have him actually there because you cannot do that in Philadelphia. Don't screw over Philadelphia like that. Anyways, I've been Matt the Misfit. If you like what you've seen here, hit the like button, comment down below, all that jazz, everything, do the thing that you do when you come to the YouTube channel if you like it. All that stuff. Follow the social media, Misfit Wrestle TV, on Twitter. Still working on figuring out if I want to do an Instagram or not. I do have a Facebook page on there. Misfit Wrestling Podcast. You can look that up. It's very simple. Search engine. Boom. I believe, I could be wrong here, but I believe the URL is Misfit Wrestling Podcast. I believe. Don't quote me on that. Anyways, I will see you guys here tomorrow for Extreme Rules. Until then, we're out.